I really think women are asking for a little bit too much from men. And y'all gonna be mad, but I really don't care because y'all need to hear the truth. Because sometimes people try to go outside their lane, and I'm gonna be real with you, that ain't gonna work.
All right, so what do you feel like is wrong with women in this generation?
I feel like they have too many high expectations for these well-raised men in this generation. A lot of females get caught up in, oh, this dude has to pay for all my friends, you know, or oh, this dude has to meet all my needs. When all expectations and all realization, these women don't have all they put together. And so I feel like these women really need to listen to the men and see what they got going on in their life. Nowadays, they expect for the man to have everything figured out, when in all actuality, the men don't have everything figured out. Yeah. The men actually have some problems going on, and the women need to listen.
So interesting. You wouldn't expect her to, she's probably had a couple drinks in her state that she's in, to be speaking so soberly. I don't detect a lie. She's at least empathetic to the fact that men go through a lot in our pursuit in life. And it seems like the real travesty is that men have been kind of reduced down to just their characteristics. This man is alpha because he's strong at all times, when you don't see the struggles of this man in private. Or this man is beta because he's weak and he does this. When you don't know, that might be the most heroic person. I mean, it's funny when you wake up and you see when it's really on the line, the person that steps up will be oftentimes not who you expect. The disconnect is women in this era have decided already what is what, and they're not budging. They're not allowing for men to be actually human.
Okay, respectfully, where do I begin, my guy? You got a lot of dip on your chip, and I feel like the way that you coming at everybody else with like, oh, who's your dentist and everything, you finna ask me who my dentist is. And I'm not with that just yet. I'm not ready for that.
I know it's triggering.
Also, let me finish real quick, respectfully. I'm sorry, because you interrupt everybody else. Let me speak real quick. I just personally feel like you're not used to and I'm not trying to say like, oh, I'm alpha male, whatever. Like, you're not used to a dominant woman. I feel like you are like, it's easy kind of coming to you to belittle women a little bit. I understand where you coming from with everything that you do, and I saw the last episode, but like you do come off as arrogant.
Very defensive.
Confidence is cool, but like, know the difference a little bit. What you gonna say about my tooth, bro?
Why would I want a dominant woman when I'm the dominant one?
Go ahead. There can't be,
Can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
There'd be two alphas.
Do you think you're the prize?
I know I'm the prize.
You're the prize to the men you don't want.
Okay.
When you get a man that you actually want, please believe me, we're the prize.
Okay. Next.
Okay.
Oh, did you see how she tried to get up out of there, man? You could tell how nervous she was that he was approaching. Now, this guy, I've seen him on this show before, and he's a doctor, I guess. I guess he came in as, looked like a Scrubs or something. I think, if I'm not mistaken, and it intimidated her. A lot of times I think women don't ever think there'll be a situation where a man could potentially offer more than them. They feel like its structure is already that women are inherently more valuable than men. So when they're faced with something like a potential rejection or a man that is successful, well, they get like this. And she really learned a lesson right there because, all that talking, all that preamble before she got to the fact that, I know you're going to reject me, but I want to get to you before you get to me. Something we see a lot. And she was scared he was going to roast her too.
Let's get into it. I honestly feel bad for the men of this generation. The younger guys, like in their early 20s, in their early 30s or whatever, and say they don't have a very prominent career, such as like in finance, because I used to work in finance. So I know how much finance men really make in investment finance. That's what I'm talking about, okay? That's where we used to work. I know those men make upwards of $200 and something plus $1,000 a year, okay? Not every man will make that amount of money. And if there is men that make that kind of money, it's very limited, okay? So I I think it's so crazy that this young women, this young ladies of this generation is expected for a man to make $300,000 plus in a major city. You get what I'm saying? To take care of a family and all that. Not every man is going to make that amount of money. A man nowadays barely making $45,000, especially if he's black. I really think women are asking for a little bit too much from men. And y'all gonna be mad, but I really don't care because y'all need to hear the truth.
I think the problem is they just don't know how much things cost. Like a lot of what they're doing is out of ignorance. If you really broke down the wealth and data statistics and you see the numbers, how they're broken down by ethnic group, it paints a far bleaker picture than what we see online. Online, everybody's a millionaire. Online, everybody is wealthy. This is why you see a lot of men taking penitentiary chances for temporary money, because they think it's somehow endearing them to women. It's going to get them more women. You can't think that you're going to potentially do a crime and escape. It never ends that way. Almost never. You're not going to be able to flip that money into something into something that makes sense. You find the earnings of the certain men. And then the men that are actually making the money that you want are normally older, and they normally are not the fun guys, or they're more boring than what you would realize. Or they might be married, or they just have a structure around them that keeps you away. Because
Don't blame our men for going out and dating other races of women, because let me tell you something. I grew up around those different women who came from very rich families, extremely wealthy. I'm talking filthy rich, probably richer than what you probably think. My parents had me surrounded by those kids, had me surrounded by those. Y'all don't even get it. Y'all think finding a man that rich, that has a legit career, legit, in STEM or something like that, where he's making over 150 grand, okay? Y'all really think that's an easily accessible man? No, they're not. If you didn't grow up doing horseback riding classes, if you didn't grow up doing cooking classes, my mother had me in cooking classes with all the little white kids, all of them growing up, because their parents taught them that. Y'all are missing that when you are born to be, honestly, a housewife and to live that lifestyle, you have to grow up seeing those things. It's just not going to come to you without you seeing those things. Now, granted, there are some women that just, luck up on a really high value, rich man. And, that's just not his money and things like that. It's a bunch of other components that go into it. You get what I'm saying? But what I'm saying is, I honestly feel so bad for these guys, especially our men. Other men, I have friends of all races. Other men, they can make them a smooth 50K, 55,000, and their white wife will be so happy because she's like, well, I'm working too, and she takes so much pride into her man. And I feel like with black men sometimes, with this generation of girls, like the girl that got mad with the $30 for lunch, my man sent me money that same day. That same amount. And I went to Kava and I ate that for lunch and I ate it for dinner, because I don't eat that much no way. Okay? It's just like, y'all are expecting men to make more than what they actually will make in the black community. If we're going to be real, if he's not in the top profession, he ain't making a lot of money. People just need to find somebody that they love and forget what people tell you, and just find who you love and be happy with that person. Stop trying to be like somebody else. Stop trying to live the life that you see on social media, because sometimes that ain't even realistic. Okay? I think y'all just need to give the person that's in your lane a shot, because sometimes people try to go outside their lane, and I'm gonna be real with you, that ain't gonna work. You need to stay within your lane and stay within the men that you can date. But I don't know, I just thought about that, and I'll never treat my boyfriend like that. I just,
She has her head on right. You know what I'm saying? And I want to believe there's more women out here like this. She's not perfect, obviously. She still got some things a little twisted about how things go. But for the most part, she's speaking reality. She's speaking things that Kevin Samuels said. Oh, but you didn't want to listen to Kevin Samuels when he said it. No. There's still women right now who are still cursing Kevin from beyond. So, did he have a point? I think he had a point. And I'm glad there's now people 2 years later finally coming to terms with it, finally understanding, finally like, oh, this is what he meant. Hey, it is what it is. Rest in power, King.